do the offensive linemen next, right?
Yeah, let's take the list, Steve. Here's 1 through 5 of ESPN's
This is
same
the list
survey.
of interior offensive linemen.
Again, ranked by
offensive linemen. And this leads into a Browns topic we'll get to. Here's 1 through 5. Quentin Nelson of the Colts, Zach Martin of the Cowboys, Brendan Scherf of the Jaguars, Joe Thuney of the Chiefs, and our guy, Joel Bitonio of the Browns. Let's go 6 through 10, Steve. Take the next one. Ryan Jensen, Elgin Jenkins, Jason Kelsey, Wyatt Teller of the Browns, and Corey Linsley. So the Browns have 2 of the top 10 interior offensive
20% of the best.
This is placebo. This list is trash.
Wow.
This list is trash.
Why?
Like, bro, listen. Wyatt Teller is better than Jason Kelsey, Jenkins, and that other dude, bro. I don't even know why they got.
Studying the offensive line of these other teams? You're on it? That's your thing?
I'm a fat guy. I used to go against offensive linemen. It's what I do.
I have to trust your judgment on that. I never have any idea what's going on.
But either way, even if you don't think they're in perfect numbers, the fact that, like, think about this is interior linemen, so you're talking guards and a center. There's 90 starters, right? No, 96 starters at those positions. So if the Browns have 2, even if that list is right, 2 of the top 9 out of 96 starters, that's pretty damn good.
But it's tremendous. I was surprised to see Kelsey up there still.
No.
That's reputation.
Man, that's reputation. Here's the thing.
Because he is not playing at a top 10
people
lineman right now.
People have no clue what linemen do up front.
That's true.
Yeah. They just say, they just say, oh, well.
But these guys are scouts and executives.
No. It's name brand recognition.
True, that's fair.
Because the only reason you know about a lineman is if whether or not they get holding penalties or jump or false start. That's it. No one says.
They're graded out.
And if you go by grades, one of the highest graded offensive linemen, and when it comes to it, is Wyatt Teller.
Yes, you're
right.
Well,
Bitonio's higher. Wyatt Teller is probably the best offensive guard.
The best run blocking guard in the game.
But Bitonio overall is a little better because he can pass. Teller's a little better than Bitonio in run blocking, but Bitonio's significantly better than Teller.
Well, let's agree to say this:
blocking.
We've got 2 of the top 10,
Yes.
and I think that most observers of the game will agree with that. I don't think anybody's going to say that they don't. The point here, and the jumping-off point for this discussion is, you've got 2 of the top 10 interior linemen. How does that set up for a backup quarterback to play 8 games if that's what he ends up playing? How does that factor into what we can see from Jacoby Brissett?
If Kevin Stefanski, I keep going back to it, man. This is very important, man. We got to realize this, man. Kevin Stefanski is going to be such a microscope on his game plan because when we watching the Cleveland Browns play these other teams, and when we see them come out and they want to, and they're looking like they want to move the football, we're going to count how many times did Chubb get the ball, and we're going to count how many times did Kareem Hunt get the ball, and then we're going to count how many times they was in the game together. Because at this point, there is no excuse. You have a backup quarterback who you don't really know what they can give you. His skill set is limited. So if we're going to be watching, now you know, wow, in the middle, when we want to run zone, when we want to move people off the ball, we got 2 of the best interior linemen in the game. And you still are not feeding these backs the football.
Right.
We're going to be watching you and seeing, because that's what the game plan is supposed to be. If you play the Browns in the first 8 games, you should be like, damn.
Yeah.
Play the Cleveland Browns. I don't want to. These guys got hands on me. I don't want to deal with them up front. And people, leave me alone. I don't like offensive linemen's hand on me. They smell bad and they push people around. You should know what kind of game you in for.
But here's the thing. And as great as those 2 guys are, guys, with offensive line more than any other position, it's not about your best guy. It's about your worst guy. So I would rather have 5 good, solid offensive linemen than have 3 great guys and 2 guys who stink.
Are you worried about our line?
I'm a little worried. Now,
we have an unproven commodity in a very important spot.
Well, I think, and you could argue they have it in 2 spots, because Jedrick Wills is not proven at left tackle. He was solid as a rookie, solid, but not great. And last year he was not very good. Now, I know he was hurt, but again, you're on the field, you're expected to perform.
But the injury he had,
it was a bad one. Yes, I think it factored in, no doubt.
It's almost like a quarterback that has an injured throwing shoulder.
Agreed, but
because you know more than anybody, if you're lower half is not 100% as an offensive lineman, you're going to get roasted.
That's why I told him after the first game, I'll let you get back in.
Take him out. I wanted that
But
too.
you know this too. He was anointed as a rookie. He wasn't great as a rookie.
No,
he was solid.
No, he wasn't.
He was anointed at Alabama. He came in with a ton of expectations.
But he needs to, he needs to step up his game. And even at right tackle, when Conklin's there, he's great.
Yeah.
But he's missed a lot of time.
He has.
So I have some questions. So, yeah, I mean, if those 3 spots are solid, which I think they will be if they're healthy, then the offensive line's in great shape. But no matter how good your guards are, if you're not getting, at least solid tackle play and certainly solid center play, it could screw up the whole thing. I don't think it will, but it's something to be.
And the Treader factor, we haven't even talked about that.
Yeah.
Here's all I want to see. There. You now. Now your turn.
I'm with you.
Now just right to Kareem Hunt. And he goes, Brisson's not even in.
Yeah.
Not even in. Just like it right to Kareem
Wildcat.
Hunt. That's the first 4 games of the season. That's what I want to see.
Have Kareem Hunt play quarterback and Nick Chubb
Sure.
play
Mike,
tailback.
are you down to thinking that it's a 4-game suspension now?
I have no idea.
You said that's the first 4 games of the season.
I just want him to get started. I want him to get started out of the gate warm.
The teams that we gonna play, like
That's
you got
what
the
I'm
Jets and
Don't
he
even
said
think about
it.
throwing it.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, don't complicate things.
Yeah.
And I think this is truthful. When you look at other teams, we can't ask the Browns to have all-stars at every position. At some point,
No team does.
One offensive lineman has a whole unit that is completely trusted.
You want the other 3 guys to be solid. That's it. I'm not asking them to be stars. Just be solid.
Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb are 2 of the highest-rated backs in the league that make people miss. First contact, their miss percentage, making guys miss, running people over. And so if you got the first 4 games and you got a healthy offensive line and these 2 running backs, I think the Cleveland Browns will be good to go.
I'll wrap it up with something that you said. I think it was the point of the topic. This season, but particularly the first however many games the Browns have to play with a backup quarterback, this is a real important time for Stefanski. Because I talk about genius credentials needing to be renewed. I thought last year he was below where I expect him to be as a play caller and an offensive coordinator. And I think that the tarnish of his rookie coach of the year or whatever he was, I think the tarnish of that trophy is we see it now. And in this league, you can have one bad year.
Yeah.
Even if you've got injuries. But it's that second bad year where eyebrows start to come up and executives start to whisper in the hallways. And this is big for Stefanski.
Even the Eagles fired their coach, whose name is escaping me now, the coach who won the Super Bowl, Doug Peterson.
Yeah.
After he won a Super Bowl.
Well,
like 2 years later.
Yeah. So the honeymoon was very brief. But it was obvious, too, that was nowhere near the team that won the Super Bowl.
Right. And that was the point. Like, if he's going to lose his job 2 years after a Super Bowl, Stefanski doesn't definitely keep it 2 years after one playoff win.
Famously said in an NFL films, NFL stands for not for long.
They should be paying him to this day for that slogan.
Yeah, that's perfect.
2 things. First of all, Doug Peterson, former Browns starting quarterback.
Yeah,
that's something
he's on the list.
And he looks like 65.
He looks like a former Browns offensive lineman.
He does, too. Secondly, I think the Stefanski thing is as bad as some of the play calling was last year. It was, for me, the thing that shook my faith was allowing Baker to keep playing.
Yeah.
You got to make that call as a coach.
Listen, I'm with you 100%.
You got to make that call as a coach.
And I don't put all of that on Stefanski.
No, neither do I.
I think the front office could have, ironically, the quote that really sent Baker over the edge was when Chris Mortensen said there was a Browns executive who said we need an adult in the room. And I agree with that, by the way. I agree with the assessment that Baker is wildly immature and too thin-skinned and rabbit-eared and all of that. I think that's dead on. But I think that the irony to me of that quote was, we do need an adult in the room at quarterback. We also need an adult in the room with the headset and with the front office.
Yep.
And where were they last year? We all watched as Baker clearly wasn't Baker Mayfield.
Right.
And yet we want to blame Baker for trying to be valiant and play through it.
This is what happened. You say they put him out there to mess around and why would he should have been out? They made that decision when Baker Mayfield said, why wasn't you in this meeting? You was over here with Myles Garrett. I need you to be in this meeting with me. And he was upset about it. Stefanski was like, okay. Yeah.
So
you gonna play the rest of the
Yeah,
season.
but now that's
dog.
spiteful. And
Oh,
that
yeah,
hurts
yeah,
the
I'm
franchise.
just-
If that
Hey,
happened,
I'm-
that's wrong. And
I'm
this
definitely
this
telling you
season
that's what
is a
happened.
referendum
Yeah.
on
I believe that.
on Stefanski too. We talked about a referendum
Yeah.
on Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
Kevin Stefanski's got a lot to prove this
Yeah.
year. No doubt.
I
You talked
agree.
about it. They've changed over the whole offense, except for their stars. The strength of the offense, the running game stayed the same, and you've, in theory, at least on paper, and at least depending on how many games Watson plays, you've significantly increased your passing game. So there's no excuse, unless Watson misses the whole season, for this offense not to be great.
I agree.
But just to be clear, you guys really think that he played Baker Mayfield out of spite
I don't.
when
No,
he was
I
hurt
don't.
and because he wanted to show how bad he was so that he had more negotiation next
No,
year?
I don't think that.
Sacrifice winning games.
But the idea that personalities factor into this, I think that there was some of this from Stefanski.
Man,
oh, really?
So for real?
Oh, really?
Well, okay. Well, you go out. Let's see how you handle it. You want to be tough?
that would
All
be
right, let's
horribly
roll.
immature.
Let's
If
roll.
you sacrifice potentially winning or losing a game just to get that point across,
Why
that would be
wasn't
very
he taken
immature.
off the field? Guys, why?
I don't know.
It's hard
Particularly
to
when
come
the
up with a
backup
perfect
comes in
answer.
against Minnesota.
And looks great.
And
Fine.
well, they should have won that game.
He should have kept playing after that. I really don't. I don't have a great answer. I do know the medical staff cleared him each week.
I think he got bullied.
I find it hard to believe
I
they
think he
thought
got
they had a
bullied.
better chance to win with Baker.
He got
but-
bullied by Baker and the fans, I think. I think he got bullied. And Baker was just like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, coach.
Well, you got to be bigger than that as a coach.
I agree.
You have to make the tough decision.
Totally
That's why
agree.
you make the money.
It was much sneakier. They understood that the fan base was at this level. I keep saying Baker is one of the most beloved people in this city. People be forgetting. People are switched over to the Carolina Panthers so Baker is there. They knew that they couldn't physically say, you know what, we're going to take you out because that means.
Yeah, but you got to turn out the noise.
But hold on.
You can't make decisions based on what the fans
I'm
think.
getting to it. Here's the point. They said, we're going to let him play himself out of a contract. We're going to put you out here.
But how does that benefit
I just find that hard to
because,
believe.
hold on. It benefited him. Why? Because then after Baker shows his interceptions, after he shows that he's inconsistent, and people start to see, then what do? Let's get Deshaun Watson. They already started making conversations about that in October and November.
We knew
they had
that.
made their
Yeah, but
decision.
see, I just don't buy they did. I don't think the front
can't-
office cares what the fans
I
think.
No, they
can't-
would have done
I
it.
can't
I feel like they
imagine
would have
how
done it anyway.
It's hard to come up with a great answer as to why they kept playing him.
You know what was the
but I
biggest
find that
mystery to
hard
me?
believe.
When you go back and you watch the Steelers game, and what they were doing in the Steelers game with no extra tight end or protection
look,
on the
man.
right side.
Well, if you read in Jason's article, he made the point that they set up a lot of those plays to get rid of the ball quickly, and he didn't throw it. So, who knows?
You got 3 seconds when Watt, not even 3 seconds, when Watt is one-on-one with a bad tackle and no tight end help.
Bro,
You can't you can't even. The ball's barely in your hand, and
He
Watt's
said-
in your face.
They told him, if you think you Patrick Mahomes, you think you Josh Allen, well, we're going to give you the ball, take a 5-step drop, and see what you
I
do.
hope that's not true
Get-
because
get-
I need my head coach to be an adult.
Getting a little Pelican brief
Like,
conspiracy
right.
theory.
Hey,
around
I'm
here.
just saying.
All right, let's. Dude, if that is true, I'm terrified. All right, let's talk about backup quarterbacks as long as we're on that subject.
We're talking about
Mitch
Baker.
Another ranking, right? We've got the
Yeah.
this is from FanDuel. These are the rankings in the AFC North. You
That's
got Joe
funny.
Burrow number 1. I don't think anybody's going to dispute that.
That's funny.
Lamar Jackson at number 2. No problem with that. You've got Mitch Trubisky at 3, Jacoby Brissett at 4. I see absolutely nothing wrong with this current rankings.
I mean,
does anybody have a fault with that?
I don't know.
I have a bit of a fault because, hey, stand on what you mean. This is the easy way out. They're going to put Jacoby Brissett on here, right?
Yeah.
Like, no, you meant to say, hey, you know Deshaun Watson going to play at one point in time. Put
Yeah,
your
but
name
thi-
by it.
but this is
I
week
need your-
one.
I need
I
your name by it.
I don't. What you think you're saying? Mitch Trubisky's better than Deshaun
No.
Watson?
I want him to. To me, we always talk about it. I want him to debate the Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson thing. Because to me,
You can't put Deshaun Watson ahead of Joe Burrow. Not right now. Not until he plays.
I agree with that. But
You can't.
if you're talking about, this is why I always say, talent for talent,
Yeah.
skill for skill. When you get to be about 4, 5, 6, 7, it's all about what.
Yeah, I
preference.
mean, the skill difference between Burrow and Watson is negligible. You could even argue Watson's a more skilled player. But right now, in terms of who you want leading your locker room and who's accomplished the playoffs, it's not close.
And if you say character, Joe Burrow has,
right.
I mean, if you want to count that. But I will say that it's a lot closer than a lot of people would make it.
I don't disagree at all.
I hope some terrible secrets come out about Joe Burrow. I hope he has a terrible life that we don't know about. I hope he's doing something revolting. I really do. I want to bring everyone down to our level. If we can't be up there, I want to see Joe Burrow. I want him to be involved in some kind of trafficking
I can't imagine Joe even being involved in a scandal.
Those are the ones that you always been able to surprise you.
Those are the ones who always say the same thing about Watson a year and a half ago.
People were saying that about Tom Brady after his second Super Bowl. Like this guy isn't that squeaky.
Yeah,
man.
Yes, he is.
I'll tell you, for years, I was like, Tim Tebow's a phony. I don't buy any of this.
No, Tim is the real
He's
deal.
a complete phony. I never bought it, and now I'm like, all right, I guess he's real.
Well, I'll tell you someone that,
I hate his
that
fans,
knows
but I
Tim
don't hate
personally
him.
and worked with Tim.
Yeah.
I was so skeptical, and Mike, you know that I'm like, I take it at face value. You know? I swear to you, every time I've ever been around him, I'm looking at him like,
what's your secret? Right.
Look,
what do you hide?
There's no way this guy's really a virgin. I mean,
Dude,
come on
this
now.
guy is the most thoughtful. If he sees somebody that needs something of him, even if he's busy doing his job or whatever, he goes out of his way to accommodate people. Not for cameras, not because anybody's going to look, just because he feels like he owes it to everybody.
There is two people that I've never, and I get a chance to see them in my lifetime. There's two people that had the hugest magnifying glasses on their life, their career, personal life. It's LeBron James and Tim Tebow. And they just have not messed up. They just haven't I mean, Tim Tebow is so bad. Like people, like you said, you run across the street.
He was a phony
you was looking around like, hey man, do you got another woman in your book bag?
There's got to be something going on.
Somebody?
Are you really into Wicca?
Are you embezzling money?
And hanging with hookers? There's got to be that.
Like he got to be. And LeBron, he just does it. Like LeBron goes home and hangs out with his wife. And like that's just it. And his kids have Taco Tuesday. I'm like, bro.
He knows there are a million haters watching him saying,
Everyone.
please get a Dewey. Please do something wrong. Please.
Hey, one more Long Island
I need a rationalization to hate you.
But the bottom line of that, yes, Mitch Trubisky is better than Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah,
Right.
And the question, I think in our notes back and forth for the show, the question was, would you rather have Trubisky over Brissett? I would love to have Mitch Trubisky.
I'll take Trubisky.
And quite frankly, how he didn't end up here is a mystery to me.
What's the backup quarterback that played for the Ravens last year?
He had a hell of a year.
Huntley.
I'll take Hundley over Brissett.
Man, I'm telling you, there were times that I watched him, and I thought, the Ravens might have a decision on their hands.
Just look at us right now. You're saying, like, I would dream of having Mitch Trubisky.
I would.
And you're just like, oh, man.
I would take him in a heartbeat.
I'd take Baltimore's backup in a heartbeat. I know, that's where we're at right now.
I know.
Unfortunately.
Just for the first 8 games.
Yeah,
I'm not going to take Trubisky.
Yes.
And I'm not suggesting for a second that they have signed Trubisky and moved forward with him. I'm just saying that the way things fell, with Deshaun's future being
He'd be
uncertain,
a better option.
If Trubisky was here, I think everybody at this panel would be feeling a whole lot more comfortable.
And
the first 8
Trubisky
games.
is also kind of in that same vein
can
as
move.
Watson. He's a good athlete.
Good athlete, young guy.
That's actually his strength.
I think Trubisky is going to end up closer to the player we thought he was going to be coming out of college than the guy we saw in Chicago.
I didn't think he was going to be good out of college.
Look, if you want to destroy your professional career as a quarterback, go to Chicago.
Well, people used to say that about Cleveland, too.
Well, it was true.
He didn't have a lot of talent around him.
No, and
He's
But
29 and 21 as a starter.
I think Mitch Trubisky.
okay, and what is Deshaun Watson?
I don't know what Deshaun Watson
Deshaun
is.
Watson
But
is 29 and 31.
28 and 26.
28 and 26.
Mitch
So
Trubisky
Trubisky's record is better.
has a lot to prove.
He been to a Pro Bowl too,
He
right?
does, but my point was he did make a Pro Bowl. My point was I thought going to Chicago with what they had around him, which by the way is very similar to what they're putting around our Buckeye and ruining him.
Yeah, right.
I just don't think we ever got a clear reading on what Mitch can do in the NFL.
So what do you think he's going to be?
I'll tell you
He's gonna be a
this.
top
I'll
20
tell you this. Now,
quarterback?
Bernie Kosar worked with him because of the Menor connection, and he had some connections to him. He was telling me before the draft, if the Browns don't take him, they'll regret it for a long time. And the way it played out early with him going to Chicago, I would even ask Bernie, now he had a great year, a Pro Bowl season.
He won Pro Bowl season.
But when the pieces around him dwindled and he was exposed, he struggled mightily.
Yeah.
And was eventually signed the 1-year deal to go to Buffalo. We never saw him with the Bills.
Yeah.
But Bernie is so high on his skill set.
Right.
He's insisted that if he's in the right situation, this guy will thrive as an NFL quarterback. Is there ever a team that provides the right situation more than Pittsburgh historically?
Right. They got 3 good receivers.
And they got a great running game.
I think he's a startable NFL quarterback, but a bottom-level starter. That's what I think. That's what I think we'll see.
This is why
Bernie knows more than I do. So.
I hate the AFC North. Even the bottom feeders, even the people that's supposed to be bottom feeders
scary.
are like they got 3 or 4 things. T.J. Watt can just wreck a game. They got Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson.
Chase Claypool's overrated.
I mean, but
so much could go wrong.
Their receiving core is better than the Browns.
Right.